Today we're talking about 4 red flags to look out for in any relationship.
Welcome back to Worth the Work. I'm Emmanuel.
And I'm Amia.
And we're glad you're with us today as we talk about 4 red flags in a relationship. And make sure that you stay to the end because the 4th one is key. Now, if you're new to our channel, we've been married for 12 years and we've learned a lot over the course of these 12 years about marriage and just relationships in general. And so we really wanted to share with you the things to really look out for in a relationship. All right. Now, before we jump into the red flags, one thing that I wanted to make sure that we state that we've learned over the years of our relationships is that we each bring into the relationship our unique selves that are flawed and need a lot of growth. And as we mature through the relationship, that's what happens. We grow and we begin to change and evolve, hopefully for the better. But with these red flags, these are the things that I think any relationship should pay key attention to before entering. So the first one is if you recognize that your partner is lazy, not self-motivated, no goals, no dreams, that is a red flag.
So what are some examples? Like, what do you mean by lazy?
If your partner does not like to work, if your partner does not like to put energy and effort into things, again, not just career related, but things that might involve your marriage or him or herself, that's a red flag.
Yeah, they're not motivated to take care of themselves. They're not motivated. They don't take care of their surroundings. They just don't put any effort and energy in the things that they do. Now, we're not talking about, when we say laziness and not motivated and not having any goals or ambitions, we're not talking about the ability to articulate those goals and things that you're lacking motivation. Because some people just, have a hard time articulating, especially in today's society where there's a sense of hyper productivity. Not everybody is comfortable with articulating their dreams and their goals. Now, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the person who does not even have doesn't even put the effort towards their goals or anything like that.
Right, those things that they want for themselves and for maybe the relationship. All right, so that's the first red flag. Okay. Second red flag is disrespect towards you or anybody around them.
Right. Yeah, so a partner who is, we're not talking about manners, who, doesn't say please and thank you. Those are things that they can build on and work on with time. But somebody who is calling you out of your name, is not respectful of your time, not respectful of your space, not respectful to your parents or even their own family members. You see that they talk to them in a disrespectful manner. Those are some things that you really want to be aware of and may want to pump the brakes.
Absolutely, until it is addressed. But that's key, I think, that the level of respect that's required. If there's any shortage of that, I think that is where, as you said, pump the brakes. All right.
Yes.
All right. The third red flag is dishonesty.
Yes.
Dishonesty. That is a major one. And by dishonesty, what do we mean?
They're lying. They're not being honest about where they go, what they do. They're not forthcoming about, so many things. They're telling you they're one place, but they're really another place. Or they're telling you that they're, what would you say? I don't know.
I think, they're straight up lying. And then there are times where we may see stories changing for one reason or another. And things not connecting as they should.
Yeah.
Then those are the things where you want to pay close attention to. Especially, again, I think when somebody lies outright to us, we can handle that. But I think sometimes we can overlook those times when stories are not matching up. There might be reason to question things. I think you do want to take the time to pause and question those things when things are not adding up. And the fourth red flag, which we believe is the key right here, is a lack of openness and willingness towards self-development.
Yes, exactly. Because all those first 3 that we stated, those are things that you could work on if you are somebody who is willing and motivated to reflect on yourself and the things that you need to change. But without that, If you are dishonest, if you're disrespectful, if you're lazy, and you don't have the willingness to work on those things, that is something that is a person that you don't want to be in relationship with.
Absolutely. I think hearing feedback from either your partner or others, I think, and seeing the level of humility that is required to move, and openness that's required to move towards developing oneself is key. And so when that is lacking,
Yes.
again, it makes everything really null and void. And so I think being able to have that humility versus the pride, and that openness to move towards change and development, as we all need, is the key. So when that lacks, it's a major red flag.
Exactly. And if you know you are willing, if your person or your partner is not willing to hear feedback, or they think they're just fine the way they are, that's a major red flag. Okay, if they know that they're human and that they're willing to hear feedback and willing to reflect on themselves, that is so. If they're willing to do those things, that's a great sign that all those other three are something that can be worked on.
Absolutely.
You know, those are red flags. But when somebody is willing to receive the feedback, constructive criticism about those 3 areas, then they are someone you can work with.
Absolutely. And that's all we need, somebody that we can work with, again, because we all are flawed to the max. But I think if we are willing to work on ourselves, take feedback, there's hope.
Exactly.
All right. So hopefully this is helpful as you look to embark on a relationship, or in the midst of a relationship that you might need to reconsider based on these red flags. All right. Until next time, peace.